Welcome back, friends and fellow gamers. This is Roger, here to take you on another legendary adventure. So sharpen your sword, ready your shield, and remember, it's more about the journey than the destination. Hey everyone, today I'm going to take you through what I call my Valheim dailies. I'm going to show you the true path to foraging raspberries, blueberries, and mushrooms, meat, leather, carrots, and carrot seeds, my updated boar pen, also my wolf pen, and I'm going to keep it in around under 20 minutes. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. Try my best to get back to everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Thanks so much. Let's get started. Parts of this video will be sped up for you, so hang on tight. As you can see here, any wildlife along my path will be murdered for pelts, meat, and trophies. We're not going to chase them down, but anything that's easy pickings is going into the cart to stockpile for future use in Valhalla. It took me at least 4 to 6 hours of real life gameplay to carve out this trail, and it literally goes around this whole continent. I made it plenty wide to fit a cart on easily, and you'll notice that I'm wearing nice troll hide armor, which doesn't slow me down with any movement penalties. Also, there's no monsters on this route that pose any serious threats except for maybe a troll, and we can handle one with little effort. 2, we might run away since we don't have our shield on us. Nah, never mind, I forgot I brought my bow, so trolls won't be a problem either. So what I did to make this trail is I ran around the whole continent looking for anything forageable. Then I marked them all down on the map using my little dot icon. Then I grabbed my hoe, walked out the front door of my base, and started making trails to each one of these little dots on the map. Well, not every single one. I mean, some of them are more trouble than they're worth making a trail to them, so I skipped some of them. One of the best parts about foraging runs is you're not carrying any kind of ore, so you're not messing with tin, copper, iron, or anything like that. So the cart never really gets that heavy, and it never really gets to the point where you can't drag it up any kind of a hill, which is pretty sweet considering you can fit so much stuff inside of one cart. So raspberries, guys, are found in the meadows biome in patches of 3 to 10 bushes. They are used in various recipes from meads to queen's jam. The berries will respawn after 300 minutes. The berry respawn can be blocked if buildings or objects are placed too close. Though this behavior is inconsistent, and some players report having bushes inside their own houses that regrow regularly. However, there is no current way to replant berry bushes, and if they are destroyed, they're not going to grow back. They're also used for crafting certain things like some of the red banners that I've noticed. So this is my updated boar and wolf pen, guys. The boars I found in this field right here where they are, and to our left right here is a rather large mountain, and I just basically went up there and got the aggro on the wolves, pulled them down here, and then I trapped them inside this area and then just jumped out. They've been breeding in here for a while, and I think there's about 20 at this time. I usually just cull about 10 of them every time I come back down here and call it good. I throw all the meat right back down, they eat it, and they just keep reproducing. And then the boars here, they've been breeding for a while. There was a +1 star boar and a normal boar in this field, and I started breeding with 3. There was 3 of them actually, one star and 2 no star boars. And I just put them in this field and I started feeding them mushrooms, and they just breed, you know. There's lots of different ways of breeding boars nowadays, and I still think the open field is the best way to go. They basically require absolutely no maintenance whatsoever. Just keep any fire sources far enough away from them, and they will just tame themselves basically. So here's my little carrot crop that I have going. So one thing that not everyone knows about is, and it's actually kind of a hit yourself up the side of the head moment when you figure this out, but carrots can be planted to give yourself seeds, and seeds can be planted to give yourself carrots. So guys, when you plant the seeds, you get 1 carrot for every seed you put in the ground. But when you plant a carrot, you get 3 seeds for every carrot you put in the ground. So what you're basically just going to want to do is every time you have a harvest of carrots, just replant the carrots until you don't have any room left. And then anything you have left over is just yours that you can use for soup or whatever you want to do with them. And just make sure that you just keep repeating that process, and then just put them in a chest, and before you know it, you're going to have more carrots than you know what to do with. One other tip I got for you guys is if you decide you want to use your boar breeding field to grow carrots, you can go ahead and do that. Just make sure that the boars are tamed. If you try to plant your carrots in a field where the boars are not tamed, they will just destroy every single carrot plant that you plant immediately as soon as they see it. So just make sure they're tamed and they won't mess with them. I'm pretty sure you could do the same thing in the wolf pit, although I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure that the same rule applies, where if the wolves are tamed, they won't bother your plants at all. Also, I'm sure you'll notice that any meat that I just get off of culling either the wolves or the boars, I just immediately throw all that meat into the wolf pit and they just keep breeding. Like I probably actually throw a little bit more meat in there than I need to, but that's alright. It just stays there until they eat it. As long as you have a workstation in close proximity, that meat will never disappear. So blueberries, guys, blueberries, unlike raspberries, don't spawn in the meadows biome. The blueberries spawn in the Black Forest, and just like raspberries, they grow in bushels, 3 to 10 bushes, and they are also on a 300-minute respawn timer. So now let's talk mushrooms real quick. There's 2 different kind of mushrooms in Valheim so far. There's red mushrooms and yellow mushrooms. Red mushrooms spawn in the meadows and the Black Forest area, and they're on a 240-minute cooldown for a respawn. And the yellow mushrooms, they grow inside the dungeons, like the burial chambers, and they are on a respawn timer as well. I'm not sure what those are. So the red mushrooms, guys, are also used in crafting carrot soup, serpent stew, and also is the primary food source that you're going to need if you want to tame boars. If you need a video on how to tame boars, by the way, I have one and I will link it in the description. Thanks a lot for watching that. Now, like I was saying about the yellow mushrooms, they can be found in the burial chambers, but also in the troll caves, guys. Primarily in the Black Forest, and then the sunken crypts in the swamp. Now, both types of mushrooms, both red and yellow, can be eaten raw, and the yellow mushrooms can be used at the cauldron to craft mead-based minor stamina and mead-based medium stamina. And they're also on a 240-minute cooldown. So I'd just like to go over real quick, guys, one of the questions I get on quite a few of my videos about taming is, why in the world do you tame boars and wolves? Well, guys, the answer is, honestly, is that you don't really have to. There's plenty of boars and there's plenty of wolves in Valheim that you'll never have to tame any of them if to do what you need to do in the game to beat the final bosses. But honestly, for me, it's just a fun factor. It's extra content that I think is fun. And the wolf pelts are used for the Drake helmet, the wolf armor chest, the wolf armor legs, and the wolf fur cape. Now that set is really nice because when you go in the mountains, it keeps you from freezing to death. It helps you with the cold effect in the mountains. And the wolf pelts are also used for the dragon bed and the wolf rug. Now, I don't know if they'll introduce more recipes for the wolf pelts in the future. It's highly possible. I know that they're going to be adding quite a bit of content to this game before it's all said and done. But the dragon bed and the wolf rug are both items that you can put in your house to help you get a higher comfort level, which will give you a greater rested buff. And the highest you can currently get is 17 comfort and 24 minutes of stamina, and that's without cheat codes or without cheating, of course. Now the boars are a totally different story, guys. The boars drop leather scraps, and leather scraps are used in a ton of stuff in Valheim. I'm gonna name them all off, so just bear with me. The abyssal harpoon, the abyssal razor, the battle axe, bronze atgear, the bronze axe, the bronze mace, bronze sword, cape of Odin, the crude bow, fang spear, flint knife, flint spear, hood of Odin, iron atgear, iron axe, iron mace, iron sword, the ooze bomb, rag pants, rag tunic, silver sword, stag breaker, wood shield, wood tower shield. And then for the building and the house items, it's used in the black banner, the blue banner, the green banner, a raft, the red banner, the spinning wheel, the tanning rack, the white and red striped banner as well. So I guess the point I'm trying to get at is it really doesn't hurt to have a couple hundred extra boars laying around, since the leather scraps are used in so many different recipes throughout the game. Now another item that you're going to find in the Black Forest, like we're in here in a little bit, and also in the swamp, is called thistle. Now thistle is a plant and it kind of glows a little bit, and it's used in blood pudding, the mead base, frost resistance, the poison resistance, and also in sausages. Now all those items are like really good. The blood pudding gives you like 90 health and 40 stamina, which is amazing. And then the frost resistance is something you're really going to need before you have the wolf armor, so you can go up into the mountains. And the poison resistance is also amazing for when you go into the swamp areas, because there's lots of blobs and stuff that can poison you, and there's basically nothing you can do once you're poisoned. You're just going to have to let it tick and tick until you either die or it wears off. So it's really something hard to deal with in the swamp. You want to try to avoid getting poisoned at all costs unless you have that poison resist mead. Like I was saying, the thistle spawns either in the Black Forest or the swamps biome, and they are much easier to find at nighttime because they glow like a blue glow to them. And they can be found in packs of like 1 to 5 plants, and they are on a 240 minute cooldown. One other item you're going to find on your foraging trip is called dandelions. It's one thing that people kind of overlook because there's just so many of them all over the place sometimes, but it's really one of the most helpful items in the game once you get your fermenter. Now the dandelions are used to make mead-based medium healing and mead-based minor healing. And they're also on a 240 minute cooldown timer in the meadows biome. So the small healing mead does 50 HP over 10 seconds healing, and the medium healing mead does 75 HP over 10 seconds. But they're both on a 120 second cooldown, so once you pop one, you can't use another one for 2 minutes. Well, in total, guys and girls, it takes about 50 minutes to an hour to make one full trip around this continent, and I've cut it down to about 20 minutes for you guys. I really hope this video is helpful to you. Here in a few seconds we'll go over our total tallies for this trip. Well, let's see here. We got about 54 leather scraps, 29 blueberries, 107 raspberries, 37 raw meat, 60 wood, various trophies, 26 dandelions, 62 red mushrooms, and don't forget we threw quite a few of those mushrooms and stacks of meat into the boars and wolves when we passed through. We also got a bunch of deer and wolf hides, and we've replanted our entire carrot crop. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Adventure with Roger. If you enjoyed yourself, please consider hitting that sub button. I want to give a big shout out to all my subscribers. Please let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Also, check out the rest of my Valheim playlist. Link will be in the description. Over 22 videos on Valheim currently in there. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to help me fund my content. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Roger, and I'll see you on our next adventure, guys. Take care of yourself, everyone.